Hello, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well today, Aubrey. What's shaking? What's happening for you
Not
today?
too much. I actually leave tomorrow for a trip to Mexico, just Rocky Point, but for spring
Ex-
break, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
that
I
is
love Mexico.
so exciting. Yeah, it's good to travel in the springtime, you know?
Yes, though I was just looking at the weather and it's chillier than it usually is. It's like high
Oh,
60s, low 70s. And I have
okay.
friends coming from up north that really wanted some warmth and sunshine. So it might be chillier than they want, but better
Yeah.
than the sub zero temperatures they've been dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, you can still hang on the beach in jeans and sweatshirts and it's fun, you
For
know what I
sure,
mean?
it'll
You could
still be
still,
fun.
yeah, you'll have fun. It'll be great.
All right, I have a question for you here, Lindsay, to
Okay.
start us out. Are you good at speaking your mind?
I would say I've gotten better at it for sure as I've gotten older.
Mm,
Just the other night, I was at a steakhouse with my partner and my partner's friend, and this friend has slightly different political views than I do.
mm.
Not completely different. We're in the same spectrum, but just slightly different. And so I think I did a pretty good job of pushing back and kind of speaking my mind. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, right? The older I get, the more I'm willing to do that. I still try to be careful of feelings, but I'm
Yeah.
more likely to speak my mind than I did as a young
Good.
person, for
Yeah,
sure.
and I think that's normal. I think our listeners probably resonate with that too. As we get to know who we are as people over time, we go through different experiences, we gain that confidence, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
this is a great phrase to talk about speaking your mind. And we got a really good question from a listener over on YouTube about do you mind, right? And if
Mhm.
that's polite. And there are so many idioms in English with the word mind.
I
So
know.
today we're diving into a few of these. I'm
Yes.
very excited. These are fun phrases.
Yeah, this is really good. So, guys, go ahead and hit the follow button right now on All Ears English so you don't miss a single one of our episodes, right?
Yeah.
And this one, I know we did cover the. I just want to make sure our listeners know that this is a different episode from 2390, right?
Yes, we were talking about in 2390 we talked about do you mind
Yes.
and how you can accidentally sound rude and the difference between do I don't care and I don't
Yes.
mind and a few different
Yes.
idioms there. There are
Mhm.
so many. So we are doing a series. This is part
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
of a series with idioms that have mind, but you can listen to them out of order. So
Yes,
if
you
you
don't
haven't
need to
heard
go back.
2390 yet, just listen here, then you can go
Exactly.
back and get that one.
Exactly. So stay right here in this episode, continue, and then go back later. But this is a completely different episode, even though we're talking again about the word mind. I love it. So,
Yeah, so let's dive in with speak your mind first. This
yes.
means to say what you are thinking. And there's
Hmm.
definitely an implication here that what you say people might not like this
Hmm.
conversation you had where you have different political views. It's a lot easier just
Yeah.
to agree and nod along. If you're going to speak your mind, the people you're talking to might disagree.
Yes, exactly. So, for example, I think everyone should speak their mind to avoid misunderstandings.
Yeah,
Yes.
or, speak your mind. I can tell you're not telling me something. So
Yeah.
there it's definitely different than like just telling someone like um y- I guess the words would be the same, but there's this implication that something is being hidden or for
Hmm.
some reason someone's not comfortable saying something. If you say speak your mind, means like
Yeah.
out with it.
Or that something is gonna be controversial
Right.
or people aren't gonna agree. It's all about pushing back and sharing what we truly believe. Speak your mind.
Exactly. We wouldn't say this if we're saying something that everyone agrees with, or you're just
Yeah.
saying, I'm going to make dinner now. You wouldn't be like, I really spoke my mind. No, right? You're
No.
just talking. That's very different.
It's more controversial stuff for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one is mind your own business. Very common, right? And this means, don't worry about what people are doing, right? Pay attention to your life and what matters for you. So, for example, I try to mind my own business, but I felt like I had to say something. Yeah.
Yes. Or someone might just say, mind your own business, right? If
Yeah.
someone's asking, like prying, someone's
Yes.
asking something you don't, then maybe
Mhm.
playfully you could be like, okay, mind your own business. You're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
not going to answer that question.
Yeah, for sure. In American culture, I think we have a big value of privacy, right? We have, I don't know, space between homes and things like that. And people try to respect people's privacy and not asking prying questions like about finances, right?
Right. And this
And
might be tricky if it's different in your culture. You might be used to
yes.
asking personal questions, talking about finances. And then if you have friends
Yes.
from the US, it would be good to keep in
Ooh.
mind, yeah, there are a lot of questions that are too personal.
Yeah, and if someone said this, if you were prying, if you were asking, let's say, questions about someone's finances, the wrong questions. We've done other episodes where certain questions you can kind of ask, but others you shouldn't.
Right.
But if someone said directly to you, "Mind your own business," that's very direct and quite rude, and I wouldn't recommend saying that to someone. Right? Let's make sure we clarify that, Aubrey. Um,
Yeah, that's a good point, right? To
yeah.
say this directly to someone's face, to tell them, don't ask me these personal questions is very rude, is very blunt. There
Yes.
are more polite ways to say that for sure. But we might say this about someone else, like, can you
Right.
believe he asked me that? I wish he would mind his own business, something
Right,
like
right.
that.
Exactly. Exactly. Or I try to mind my own business. That's a good example. But directly saying, mind your own business. Don't ask me that question. That's too much.
It's very much too much, right? This
Okay.
could hurt connections actually.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
instead we could say, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable answering that question,"
Oh,
or
yeah.
just change the subject, right? There are
Hmm.
polite ways to do that for sure.
For sure. All right. What's our next one, Aubrey?
All right, out of your mind, which means acting irrational or being crazy, maybe. We usually say this more playfully to be funny or to exaggerate. I might say, I may be out of my mind, but I thought I heard you say the meeting was Wednesday. This is kind of a fun way of being like, am I crazy? Did I miss
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, this can mean a lot of different things. Just in the sense of, did I miss that detail, or
Right.
am I acting really irrationally? Someone's throwing things around the house. You're out of your mind. What are you doing? It can mean a whole range of behaviors when you
Yes.
say that, right?
And another caveat with this one, just like mind your own business, that it can be very rude to just say to someone, "Are you out of your mind?" Right? It's definitely pretty harsh. Like you're implying that someone is crazy, is
Yeah.
not thinking clearly. You often, as people, I think, will say this when they're fighting with someone. So
Mhm.
you should be careful because it can be offensive.
Yeah, these are heavy, heavy responses for sure. The next one's a little lighter. Peace of mind. I like this. It's a state of mental calmness, and we all want this, right?
Right, exactly. And you might say, "For my peace of mind, can you check that all the doors are locked?"
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a very nice, polite way to ask. You're just like, just so that I feel
Hmm.
100% secure about something.
Yeah, you just don't want something on your mind kind of nagging
Right.
at you. So you want to eliminate those issues. Or it gave him peace of mind to know that his mother was comfortable. Okay, good.
Yeah. So maybe like if your mother, you hire a nurse and
Hmm.
you know that she's taken care of better, right? And maybe
Hmm.
she's elderly and needing that help, that would give
Yeah.
you peace of mind to know that they have 24-hour care, maybe.
For sure. For sure. 100%. Love it. Okay, Aubrey, let's see how these all shake out in a real conversation. So we are quarreling, meaning what?
Yeah,
Quarreling.
meaning we are arguing, right? We often
Yes.
say this. I say quarreling. I know you say
Quarreling.
quarreling, but
You're probably
it says
right.
means to be like bickering, right? You're
Bi-
arguing. It's often we say this for siblings when they're
Mm,
quarreling.
love that. All right, here we go.
All right, I'll start. I can tell you're upset about something. Go on, speak your mind.
Mind your own business. If I wanted to say something, I would.
That surprises me. You're usually quick to give everyone a piece of your mind.
Are you out of your mind? You're the one always bossing everyone around.
Okay, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm having a rough day and took it out on you.
I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have snapped at you.
If you're willing, I would like to hear what you're upset about. I'd like to help if I can. And it might give you peace of mind to talk to someone.
Ah, sounds like siblings, right?
That does sound like siblings. I don't know. Like we're gonna be sisters fighting because, like
I
we said,
know.
a couple of these are rude. Like
Yeah.
siblings might say it to each other, but you
Right.
would never say it to a coworker or
Oh,
even like
no.
a friend.
Mind
It's
your own
very it
business,
can
you
be
mean
no,
specifically? Yeah. No, no, no way. Yeah. I might have said that to my brother when we were young, or even now I don't know if I'm close enough to my brother even right now to say that to him if he were asking questions.
right.
But in this scenario, we're closer siblings, right?
Right. Or
So,
even, are you out of your mind? Like, are you out of your mind? You're the one always
mhm.
bossing everyone around,
Yeah,
right?
very intense.
My children would say this to each other. When I was
Yeah.
younger, I would say it. But yeah,
Yeah.
there is a level of immaturity with some of these phrases too. As we get older,
Mhm.
as we mature, we're more respectful. We have other ways
Yes.
to say these.
Yeah, for sure. So you started by saying, I can tell you're upset about something. Go on, speak your mind, right? Go ahead, say what it is.
say what it is you're thinking. And then you said, mind your own business,
I really
right? Stop
snapped at
crying.
you, right? I really snapped there.
And then a bonus here, I said, you're usually quick to give everyone a piece of your mind. This means
Mm,
to tell someone what one thinks of them, especially in
mhm.
anger, right? If you're upset and then you give them a piece of your mind.
Yes, you're kinda taunting me here a little bit, right? You're saying, "This
Yeah.
is usually what you do, so why aren't you speaking now? Come
Yeah.
on."
And there's a fun phrase people will say where they say, I'd like to give you a piece of my mind. It's just sort of like, I want to tell you what I really think about you.
Yep, that's kind of a threat a bit kind of like
A
a
little bit.
physical threat too, sort of sometimes, right?
Almost, maybe,
Um,
right? We definitely hear this when people are angered, right? When emotions are heightened.
yeah.
A lot of these are for when we're upset.
Mhm. And then I said, "Are you out of your mind? You're the one always bossing everyone around." Now we really sound like siblings, right?
I know it's so true, right? Are you out of your mind means are you crazy? Are you not thinking rationally? Yeah.
Mhm, exactly. And then what's the last thing you said, Aubrey?
And I said, it might give you peace of mind to talk to someone. So we're
Mhm.
apologizing. Emotions are de escalating. And I'm like,
Yes.
let's talk it out. I can tell you're upset about something and it might give you peace of mind. It might
Yes.
help calm you and,
Yes.
make you feel better about it if you talk to somebody.
Yeah, and Aubrey, when you need to talk, does that help you to talk through things, or is
Oh,
it better
yeah.
like just to like go for a run? Like, how do you kind of work through things? Is it talking? Is it like physical movement?
It depends. I think
Hmm.
some things are just going to sort of like build up until you're able to talk about it. But
Yeah.
other things you maybe can just go for a run and move past it because we have to pick
Mhm.
our battles, right?
That's right. That's
Especially
right.
as a mom.
Oh, I can imagine. All right, guys. Don't forget to go back after you finish today. Check out Allers English 2390 just a few days ago. Completely different episode on other ways to use the word mind, right?
Exactly. And part 3 will be on business English 403 with come to mind, bear in mind. So be sure to follow both podcasts
Yep.
so you get all of the most common expressions that we use with the word mind.
Yeah. And I think the most important takeaway is know which words are too much for certain situations. Like mind your own business is too much for 95% of the scenarios we're going to be in, right?
Right, exactly. But a lot of these, like peace of mind, it's really tricky. It really depends for all of these phrases. Some of them you can use anytime and there's no negative collocation.
Yeah. And I think we've done an episode before on if you're thinking mind your own business, what could you actually say? So
Mm,
come back to our blog and Google that inside our search bar and see what you can find. If not, send us a question, a very direct question, and we'll make a new episode about it. All right?
awesome. Love
Good.
that. So fun, Lindsay.
All
Thanks for
right.
joining me for this fun series.
You too, Aubrey. We'll see you on the next part of this series over on Business English. All right.
Awesome.
Take
See you there.
care. Bye.